Guys, I need your help with something.
All right,
What is it?
All right, first off, who's smarter between the two?
Bro, dude, come on. Who do you think, man? You know it's me. I'm bar certified, bro.
Man, it's Ramee.
Bro, you know I'm bar certified. Come on. You know
I
I'm
don't
a
know if
lawyer.
he's smart in this department. Now listen. Nino wants to invest $100,000 into a property with me, but he also wants to live there. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. He wants to do that because he wants to run. He needs a house because he needs, you know, he needs to put a bench in there, I'm assuming, and the computer and all that shit. I already have an investment started on Grove Street 4, Tommy. The one up the street. I got 50,000 raised for it already.
How much is Grove Street for total?
166.
Okay.
Some ideas I was having was let him invest 50,000. I'll give him 2 slots, which will give him 20% of the rent and 20% of the sale of the house. Then he could put the other 50K towards rent, which could be around, you know, $5 grand a week. That'll get him 10 weeks of rent. And he'll also make money back from his rent because he owns 20%. And then he'll still get money on the sale of the house. And then we could still rent out the other 2 units and bring on, if he puts in 50, we'll bring on another 3 investors to make 175,000. Thoughts? I don't know. Is this making sense, or you guys got better ideas?
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's too complicated.
Why doesn't he just buy his own house if he has 100K to put in?
We'll just find one other person who's willing to pay like half of him and just go 80, 6K, whatever each. You know what I mean?
You're saying find a whole new property and make that
Yeah, or we.
Well, you know what's funny, because Marty also hit me up with they want to do rent to buy. You guys ever hear that?
Yeah.
So you work your way up to it.
Yeah, essentially it's like a mortgage, but like,
Yeah, but then you need the interest on that though.
yeah.
The house prices are going up, and
What's the interest that you're adding on top of it?
So it sounds like to me Marty and Nino both want to do a rent to buy, a rent to own is what rent to own. Nino's got 100K. I don't know what Marty's got.
So you know what you do?
Find out what Marty's willing to get, and if Marty's got a good chunk of money, then you could just offer them together, to be honest.
Yeah. And then I would add like a 20% interest or some shit. Or something, you know? Like an extra 20K, 10%. The $200,000 house, 10% interest
How
is
the fuck's he got 100K?
220.
Nino, I think he's been his business and investors and all that shit.
The rate is good, he might as well just get a house himself, you know?
So how do you think we should play this
If you're
situation?
doing a rent to
only
buy,
X amount from him.
if you're doing a rent to buy, you're making only money that's the remainder of what he's putting in.
But the difference is
with
right,
the interest.
I don't even have they're giving me the money to buy the house.
Yeah. You're just the real estate broker essentially. So that's why you had to add a interest on it. So add like a 20% interest, right? If it's a $200,000 house, the price is $220. You have this in a contract. They give you the money and then they pay rent on the remainder, right? So this, if they give you money, then you're gonna have to have money out of your own pocket come out to pay the remainder. Or if they both cover the entire fee, then you just add an interest for the broker, like a broker's interest. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, Tommy, right?
Well, they get discounted rates on rent.
This could even just be a situation where we don't even approach it as the other ones. We just pool our money together with these guys, have another property that's appreciating. Because I already know, Marty probably wants the one to do his casino, and Nina wants the shit to do his other, whatever the fuck he's doing, right? We have them both put in 50K. We can get a house for 160, right? We could even have them both put in 60K. That's 120. We put the other 40. They get we get 20% of the house, and they get the rest. They split the rest. They get 40% each.
Yeah, that works.
And then it's just another property we have appreciating. Maybe we don't even need to fucking rent that bitch out.
If they're smart, would they take that?
Well, I don't think either of them
are they still paying rent at that point as well?
No.
You also have to get them to agree to both share the house.
And we'll just have 20% of when it's sold in the future.
You heard what I said though? Like you have to get them to both agree to even share the house.
That's what's gonna get dicey as well, right? Like what happens when, let's say, further down the line?
Should I ask Marty right now? Nino would have no problem with the tenants. I already brought that up to him. Let me ask Marty maybe.
what happens down the line, right? When shit gets a bit crazier in the city and people like, please start getting involved and it's like raids
Yeah.
and shit. What happens then? Because like, if you're a tenant in a house and then like a tenant comes in who's like just doing dumb shit and then gets the whole place like investigated, it's a bad
Yeah, you're right.
bad situation to be in, right?
That's why. Okay, maybe we don't mix them.
But then that's gonna happen no matter what, though. No matter what like house you buy and what tenants you get, that's gonna happen naturally. That's an issue they've got to deal with themselves. And if it's just working out, I guess it's their own liabilities, right? They should have anything dodgy to be outside of the house itself.
Okay, let's focus on just Nino first then.
Yeah. So then
Nino has
he has
100K
100K to
he
invest in
can
the
put
property.
up, but he also wants to live there. He does, he doesn't care if there's other
You get
tenants.
discounted rent because of the amount of money he's putting in, maybe. He's covering like 60-70% of the equity of the house straight
Because
away.
my
That's quite a
concern
lot
is,
of money.
right, if we have him buy the investor slots and then he lives there, all the other investors are going to lose out on rent money. You see what I'm saying?
Unless you find other people who are going to invest and live there too, and find like investors that are the same minded as him.
What do you usually put for the weeks for the rent? Okay.
The house behind us is around like 5,500 a week. And there's 3 tenants.
About how many weeks did you lock them in for?
The tenants? We haven't locked
Yeah.
them in yet. They're gonna sign. I don't know. We'll have to see what Slacks is willing to do.
Well, honestly, if you want to make Nino different, for him, you change the percentages, like your 5% and 10% interest late fee. You make him pay higher rent if he's gonna own a part of the house.
Because Slacks wants to do the same thing. Slacks has like 50 grand and wants to do the same thing up with in a Polito house. I guess they almost want me to be the middleman to gather people up that can fucking pitch in.
Yeah,
and buy a
yeah,
house
that's what I'm
with
saying.
them.
You're a
basically.
broker.
Otherwise,
the
you're
broker's
Eugene on the
fee.
That's
timeline.
something
So Eugene on the timeline.
So
Maybe-
I don't think you even make money off rent or anything. I think you just take a broker's fee.
I just think
Like, you collect the money.
Like 10%.
Yeah,
just give me
yeah.
10% of the sale of the house.
So
I'll help,
essentially, yeah, exactly.
I'll help organize this shit together.
So if it's a $200,000 house, you say, okay, well, I got to collect $220,000 from all of you because I'm the one putting in the groundwork, you get all the money to pull the money up, and then you just collect 20K, and then you take that 20K and you do it on a different house that you're renting out. You don't do the rental tenant shit. You know what I mean?
But they also want they're making it confusing. They're making it fucking confusing.
That actually might be a lot easier for you to do too, because like you could probably get a lot of people to do that, like a different avenue instead of rentals. Bro, just get
Rentals
full-
is definitely the way, but
yeah.
Yeah, for now, it's people just want to get a house, right? In general, but the issue is with the reason and why they want the house.
I think I
Tenancy
might-
could be quite short-lived though, as a demand in the city. I feel like tenancy could be quite short-lived.
You think so? I don't think so.
It all depends on like how they're looking at it and how people are viewing it.
There's a lot of
How much-
homes, bro.
It depends on people getting more money. Is what I'm saying though. Like, once people get their money up more and more, they're not going to rent, are they? They're going to start.
True,
wanting
but
to-
houses are gonna get more and more expensive.
Yeah, essentially, you would be the mortgage K.
Yeah,
Look,
unless
could
you get
do
enough
something
capital,
like
then
that
you can
too.
just.
I'm
be the
gonna
bank,
run the
basically.
first idea by him, see what he thinks of. Invest 50K, get 2 slots, so he owns 20%. He still pays rent to live there,
Another way to be easier,
and
K,
he's still
is
getting return from all the other renters and the sale of the house.
listen.
So essentially, he'll be getting a discount on the rent because he's getting money back from his rent.
Okay, if you want to make it easier, just go to split the house 50-50 with him, and then get 2 more renters, and then just split that rent between you guys, like the money.
I don't have money to go 50-50 with him.
How much is a house?
160 something, right? Yeah.
And he's throwing in about 80 or 100.
So why does he want to put in 100 himself? Like, what's the reason? Just wants to be an investor and wants to.
He wants
Like, why
to,
don't he put in normal rate?
I don't think he has enough to completely buy a house. But he also
Or is
needs
it
to get the
on-
fuck
or
out of the
have most
apartment.
of
It
it?
sounds like he needs to get the fuck out of the apartments, but also wants to invest.
But you can still do that with just the normal slots. So why does he want to put all of it in and all his capital into it? And what's the reason behind that on his side? Because surely it's easier for him just to give you 25, 30K, whatever, and then just be a normal tenant with other people. Then he's still got 70K of his own capital to go and do something else with, make more money on. Pretty easier and like
True.
smart solution for you. It's just to say to him like just limit the amount that you can actually put in and just keep it simple.
Let me
for your own
pick
sake.
his brain a little more.
Is he just trying to buy it to own it eventually? Is that the whole point?
I gotta take a phone call. Fuck you, buddy.
Nino.
Yeah. I bet you do. Hey,
Oh,
hey!
shit, he's fighting with somebody.
Hey, we need some more in the
Speak
back.
about finding food in this street.
Yeah, do your thing.
You good over there?
Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I wanted to pick your brain about a few things and just clarify some stuff. So,
Yeah, 100%.
are you looking to? All right, essentially, you want to invest and have your money make money for you too, but you also want to have a place you can essentially be in for a certain amount of time to get your business up and running.
Yeah. So transparently, I'm looking to purchase a house.
Okay,
And,
you want to buy out flat or?
Yes. So
Explain to me
I
the situation.
wa-
You just don't have enough cash to completely buy a property.
Right. So I've got three options right now. The first is I can raise the capital, which I was considered doing. The second was get 2 roommates, and I have a couple lined up, and they were going to be individuals that. You ever seen that show like some interesting folks I don't mind waking up next to, but also I'm going to talk to the cops. The third option was I'm sure you got people coming your way, and that third option was doing like a lease to buy sort of thing. So like a lease to buy.
I see what you're saying.
know-
So you
Yeah.
rent to own. You'll be renting, and then eventually, once you hit a certain whatever, you'll own the place.
Yes. And then you'd come out with like some extra on top, obviously. So the big
Okay.
Yeah, because like the big thing is, so I pretty much need to increase my production facilities, but also I'm going to be expanding into some other activities, if you get what I mean. So the selection of individuals, regardless of which option I end up taking, I would need to be somewhat selective as to who I'm working with.
Okay.
I wouldn't want someone to see something they shouldn't see, you know what I mean? And become a problem.
So you wouldn't have a problem with splitting the half in two? You live on one floor, the other one lives on the other, and you both own like 50%, or maybe you own 60, they
I
own
think
40.
that I feel like that's going to be an issue, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. So we'll cross that out. I just want to narrow this down. So, you would prefer to be in the house alone.
I think that would be ideal unless they're a business partner.
Okay. Listen, if I can get you a house
Yeah.
that you live in alone, and essentially you pay rent. We could either work out a deal where you pay rent, and then eventually I just give you the house at a once a certain amount is collected,
Okay.
or I just I finish this deal on the house. I already got some investors on this one property. I close it out, buy the house, and then I just rent it out to you, and you're the only tenant. It might be a bit pricey on the rent, but it won't even be under your name, so no one even fucking knows you'll be there. It'll be a little more incognito for you, but you wouldn't be on the investing side.
And then down the line, I'd be down to invest. Let me mull this over. I got to talk to my other guys. But who would the property's name be under?
It would be under my name, so which eventually will be under the company's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you would be essentially off the radar if we did it that way.
Run the numbers for me. I don't want to like give you false hopes here. You know what I mean? I'm interested, but I got to run it with the other guys.
I can give
as
you
well.
a general. So like, right
Yeah.
now we own a property that we bought at it's like 150K. The rent per week from all the units, there's 3 units. We collect 15,000 a week.
Okay.
So imagine, after
15K.
10 weeks, that's the whole house payment.
I got to mull over this. Mechanics don't really make a lot of cash right now.
Yeah, it's a matter if you want to.
I feel like this is going to be very difficult to chop up
Yeah.
because my margins are very low until a hopeful future where our Have you spoken to Vinny about at all about like
I
how
know,
bad
I
his
know. But
situation
you do have
is?
a fat stack of cash, right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll tell you how we do it right now. We have this one unit. It's a house we bought. We split it into 3. They each pay about 5.5K a week in rent,
Okay.
and that's around 15 to 16,000 a week. So within 10 weeks, it's essentially paid back, and then if we sell the house, you get the appreciation as well. I mean, it might even be smart if you want. You could even just do a small investment in one of these properties just to have some money making money for you on a rainy day.
That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, is buy a property and then do the investment on the side. That way we're not like mixing the investment aspect and then also creeping into the, because shit's gonna get crazy, right? Like who knows how things look if I'm getting down bad on cash, then the rent.
Yeah, because I was thinking, right,
you don't want to mix those two things together.
If I
You know
had
what I mean?
so on this property, right, it's 25,000 per investor slot. Each investor gets 10%. So let's say you put 50K down, you got 2 slots. So you own 20% you get 20% of the rent and 20% of the sale of the house. And if you wanted to live there, I was like, if we had them live there, then the other investors would take a hit because that's one less rent being paid. But if you paid rent as well, you would essentially be getting a discount on the rent because you would be getting 20% back from your rent. And all the investors still get paid. And then you'll get the 20% on the sale. So essentially you would probably break even at the end of everything, but just options. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna think this through, and then I'm gonna get you something. Like I said, I may end up having to buy this, on my own accord.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Then
and
we
then-
just do a small investment on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, it's the time to get in. The house is open. Like I was gone. One day,
I do not
everything went up 10K.
disagree.
So
yeah, you're not
this
wrong.
is a good chance for everyone to get their hands in the pot before shit gets too crazy. You know what I mean?
100%. I also like what you guys are doing down there.
Yeah, we're gonna get an HOA and everything down here, so it should be pretty.
I like it.
Pretty interesting to live down here, you could say.
I don't disagree. I mean, the most likely avenue I'm going to take is getting a house down there and helping get some houses up.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm mulling between that place and Polito right now.
We could, I mean, if you want to be even a frequent investor with this and just get your hands in multiple houses, we could.
100%.
Work out a
Listen,
deal like
as
that.
soon as I get this shit going, I want to go like all in that. I just can't give you like a timeline.
Yeah, I got 2 people that are already frequent investors. This guy's already done 2 properties with me, so if we get a couple people that are frequent, we could just we could just constantly buy houses.
Yeah, I'm with that completely. What roughly is how much are the investments right now per house?
All right, so the one we did was before this was 6 investors. They paid 20,000 each. That was our first property. We have to adjust because we didn't calculate in furniture. So the company ourselves, we put in 25K. Then we got 6 more investors at 20K, which was 145K, which was the cost of the house. Then we paid for the setup of it out of pocket, which was another 20K. And now we have 3 tenants lined up. They're going to pay around 5.5K a week, 15 to 16,000 a week total from our tenants in rent.
Okay.
So if we rent that out for 10 weeks, that's all the money back right there. Then when we sell the house, you get that on top. So everyone's making really good fucking money.
Very true.
Now this next property is 166,000. So we were doing 7 investors at 25,000.
Okay.
Which would be math. It's close to that price with a little cushion for the furnishing this time.
True. I see what you're doing. It's kind of like as that rent's coming in, you're kind of putting it towards the next thing.
Yeah, and keys are 3,000 each. So 3 renters, that's another $9,000. If you want to, if someone loses a key, we have this all factored into the contracts. We have to think through anything that can go wrong. If someone loses a key, then you have to change the lock, get everyone a new key. So that's another like $9,000. But there's clauses, right? If a tenant loses a key, they're liable to have to pay for it, and this, that, and the third.
That makes sense.
Essentially, that's how it works, though.
Perfect. All right, yeah, I'm gonna talk to these guys. I'm gonna see what the rest of the guys say. I know the turnaround's gonna be a little slow, but chances are I'm probably gonna buy a house and then separately invest.
Yeah, but yeah, just let me know.
Easy. I appreciate you, Kay.
Put me in touch.
You take care. Goodbye.
That's the best way to do it, to be honest. Just have him do a little investment with us and also just buy his own place.